Broadcasting live from Dar es Salaam. This is TBC News, our top stories. Moi is set to break yet another record.
Will provide space for critical care nurses to learn and practice the best care in the world for patients that will have had an operation on their brains.
We also take a look at a new Africa Union and the future of Africa.
As the Secretariat of the African Union.
Good evening. My name is Nasa Kingu. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online, and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and X pages at TBC Online. We start here in Dar es Salaam, and of course, it's good news. Muhimbili Orthopedic Institute, MOI, in collaboration with the University of Colorado from the United States, is set to start conducting brain surgery using sound waves, making the Tanzanian Institute the first hospital in sub-Saharan Africa to adopt this innovative technology. Antonia Kivaria was there and has more details.
During the opening of the 4th edition MOI Neuro-Oncology Critical Care course in Dar es Salaam, the Executive Director of MOI, Dr. Mpoki Lusubisya, emphasizes that MOI will be the first hospital to use this technology of high-efficiency focused ultrasound, which allows for smaller incision on the head, resulting in minimal scarring for patients.
Our experts, these are locally trained and grown, have been exposed to the very best that the world has to offer in the field of neurosurgery. Now, while it's very good for us to have experts in operating patients, if you do not care for these patients post-operatively, that's a waste of investment and resources. And so this symposium for the first time will provide space for critical care nurses to learn and practice the best care in the world for patients that will have had an operation on their brains through the collaboration that exists, and that is going to afford them with the training opportunities.
Dr. Ryan Omondi, the Director of Neuro-Oncology at the University of Colorado, expresses gratitude to the government of Tanzania for granting permission and approval to conduct the training in Tanzania.
Where we bring Tanzanian neurosurgeons over to Colorado, and also we come here. So the mutual exchange helps all of us to learn better, to be better surgeons, better physicians, and take better care of our patients. We also do a lot of education for nurses.
On the other hand, Dr. Laurent Lamarian Chome, Director of Brain, Spine, and Neurosurgery Services at MOI, notes that collaboration between the University of Colorado and MOI commenced in 2013 when experts from US visited MOI, witnessing local experts performing open-head surgeries.
The patients are getting, they become a center of focus. All the departments are the center in one patient, rather than patient moving from one department to another. So this has helped much in bringing the correct treatment to our patients with brain tumors and those of those that requires critical care.
Moreover, specialist neurosurgeon Dr. Nicephorus Rutabasibwa reveals that out of 100,000 people, approximately 1,000 are affected by brain tumors.
The aim of this symposium is to cater on the management of patients who present with brain tumors, spinal cord tumors, hemorrhagic stroke, and all those who requires intensive care management in our settings, in the medical settings.
The ongoing medical reforms and investments in Tanzania are positioning the country as one of the most competitive and efficient medical tourism destination. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Antonia Kivaria, TBC News.
Thank you very much, Antonia Kivaria, for that interesting story. Over the weekend, Africa and the whole world witnessed cutthroat competition that led to a 60-year-old Djibouti's Foreign Minister Mohamed Ali Yusuf to be elected the chairperson of the African Union Commission, AUC. The new AUC team takes office at a time that Africa is facing numerous political instability issues and deteriorating peace and security situations in some parts of the continent, leave alone other economic and financing issues facing many countries. To discuss this and more, we are joined live by political and diplomatic analyst Peterinus Niyagira. But before we start our conversation, let's join Ambassador Dr. Msuya Magachi, who elaborates more on the African Union Commission chairperson post and its role.
Way to separate them is to look at the African Union Commission as the secretariat of the African Union. And the chairman of African Union being just the chairman of the summits when the heads of state or the assembly of heads of state, as they call them, meet in their deliberations. They have a chairman who coordinates the deliberations. Now, the arrangements are done differently. Whereas the chairman of the commission is elected once after every 4 years, and the chairman of the commission or heads of state assembly of heads of state is elected on a rotational basis once every year. This year, for example, you have the chairman of the commission or of the assembly of the heads of state coming from Mauritania. He's the outgoing chairman, and it is expected that the president of Angola, His Excellency Jose Lorenzo, will take over from the southern region.
Now, let's talk to our political and diplomatic analyst, Peterinus Niyagira, on the new African Union Commission and Africa's prospects. Mr. Niyagira, welcome to TBC News once again.
Thank you so much.
Let's start off with your take on the new Africa Union Commission chairperson, based on his past and current experience.
In fact, the decision to come with the new one was received with mixed feelings, especially for the people in East Africa. The people in East African community had this talk of having Raila because they know Raila has been here and there. So we expected Raila to win. And before that, of course, the SADC had issued a letter asking the members to vote for the person from the SADC region, of which was from Madagascar. So it had started now seeing this and that. But after then now, things changed. And it seems the people voted, the nations voted according to abilities, according to the experience, according to some certain technicalities. And if you see, Raila just went off at the sixth round. So he was not just a cheap issue. It was not that a cheap issue. He's as strong as equal as others. Now, the incoming one has over 20 experience in diplomacy, but also has a knowledge of language. Speaks more than 5 languages and some other local languages, and is a member of IGAD also. Now, the IGAD countries are 6 countries, and all of them has been almost in problems. When you look at Sudan, Khartoum, you look Sudan South, in Juba, you look the Djibouti itself, you look Eritrea with the Ethiopia, so Uganda, it has been not an easy thing. So being there for 20 years within Djibouti and being a foreign minister for 20 years with that diverse understanding of language, of course the Francophone countries voted for him without doubt. So it looks to be good, and the African nations, I don't think if they have made a mistake to vote for him.
Let's talk about the commission itself, the African Union Commission. With the growing influence of the regional organizations like East African Community, SADC, COMESA, and other, do you think right now there are a lot to be done in one way or the other? The African Union might be, in a way, losing its edge in African affairs?
No, there's a lot to be done, in fact, because you can see the influx of day-to-day problems within peace and security. Still, there's a lot of fragility. But when you look at it also in economic matters, still is fluid. When you look at the new policies of making America great again, as withdrawing a lot in African countries, and you see Africa is still with a problem of dependency. And so therefore, it is not actually to look at the African Union Commission, it's to look at the leaders, because the African Union Commission implements, it's an executive body which implements, which the heads of state have agreed. So it's there for policy implementation, for leadership, for coordination, and running day-to-day activities. So here, the question to be spoken are the leaders of African continent. How are they looking at the continent itself? Are they ready to finance the union itself? Because it has been a talk for many years. Of course, we have 2063 AU agenda. It has a lot to be implemented. It has a lot to be stood for. So it will depend on the decisions made, if they are so strategical, and they have a good team at AUC. It will be a nicer and a very moving way.
Just recently here in Tanzania, East African Community and SADC met and signed various deliberations to control the situation in the eastern part of DRC. Now we have the new chairperson and the whole team, of course, in place for the African Union. Do you think is the way it's being positioned at the moment will make any difference to the deteriorating situations, like let's say in the eastern part of DRC?
It will not make a difference, but it will just come up with we can say, a new energy need with a new look, because each leader has his own vision, and yes, they are guided by what has been agreed in the summit here, but still the leadership way of emphasizing and bringing all the team together, passing here and there to these heads of state and governments, because still the decision lies on them. Yes, the AUC chairperson is the accounting officer of the African Union, but he still does not do what he does by himself. It's being decided by the African leaders. So the heads of state, still the ball is in their laws. The ball is in their hands. So if they want ACU to be a competent and a very working body, they have to be smart and they have to be competent themselves. They have to be strategical themselves, and they have to adhere to what we are fighting for, the African continent. So the idea of Pan-Africanism should come back from those bowels of 1963, how vibrant it was. And we need to see leaders who are standing and saying, no, this is the Africa we want, is to be independent, self-sufficient, and we can do so. We have resources, and we have the team which can make us move.
We want to see the leaders who can stand and say something, and the rest, they listen. Now, let's talk about the issue of peace and security. Of course, peace and security is very much pivotal for development of any nation and the continent at large. Apart from the issue of security, what do you think are tasks ahead of the new team of the African Union Commission, especially here in Africa, to forge development?
There is a question of economic disparities. These are all African countries there. They have a shaky kind of economy. Their economy is not balancing. For example, when you look at Kenya, you look at Tanzania, you look at Madagascar, they have issues. They have issues. And that's why actually in his campaign, he spoke much of intertrade, intercontinental trade-free area. He was talking of connecting these nations to work together. And this actually affirms what he was speaking about, that he wants to connect and unite Africa to speak one language. And of course, it goes back to the ideals of African Union. One day to see a vibrant Africa, to see a united Africa, and this can be done through the stories of these, we call regional blocks. The regional blocks, if they are very well maintained and they are very well focused, and they stand for the problems and the issues within their bloc, it can actually help the African Union to be what it is supposed to be done.
Niagira, I know you have a lot to talk about on that particular area, but I hope next time we'll get more time to discuss more about the African Union Commission and the future of Africa. Thank you very much for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
Now, moving on to other news, the Vice President of Tanzania, Dr. Philip Mpango, has met and held talks with the UK company Innovo, urging them to cooperate with the government and invest in sustainable energy infrastructure and energy generation using solar, wind, geothermal energy, and to invest as well in waste management as well as other infrastructure projects. Here are more details.
Dr. Philip Mpango has made the call when he met and held talks with the Chief Executive Officer of the company, Paul Woodman, together with the Managing Director for MECO company, Nasser Sheikh, at Chamwino State House in Dodoma earlier today.
If you look at our development plans, you look at our national vision, infrastructure plays a very central role. We have been working on a program to link up all the regions in the country. We have been working on projects that link up the most productive regions of the country to the markets. We are also working on projects that of regional in nature. Noting that our country is surrounded by 6 landlocked countries, including Eastern DRC. It's closer for DRC eastern part to reach the Indian Ocean rather than going the other way.
The Vice President insists that Tanzania is the best country for investment due to its stable economy and its growing influence in the southern of the Sahara Desert.
I would say there is good business here in Tanzania, and particularly considering that in spite of we were held back by COVID, of course, like everybody else, but we have been quite resilient, and our economy has continued to do fairly well. We are still one of the fastest growing economies in sub-Saharan Africa.
The British Innovo company has been financing and investing in infrastructure construction such as roads, hospitals and airports in various areas around the world, including the African continent.
From Dodoma now, we are coming to Dar es Salaam. Minister of Information, Culture, Arts and Sports, Professor Palamagamba Kabudi, calls on the National Arts Council to expedite the integration of the Artist Management Information System with the government's Tausi system, an online platform that allows citizens and businesses to access services from local authorities in response to a directive given by the President. Caroline Malewo was there and has prepared the following report.
Speaking to journalists in Dar es Salaam, Professor Kabudi emphasizes that the 700 million system will allow nationwide access to artists' tax information, enabling the government to collect revenue more efficiently.
So what the National Arts Council has done is now to make sure that their system, AMIS, has an interface with the Tausi system, which is run by the President's Office, Regional Administration and Local Government. Because most of the customers who of the National Arts Council actually are also customers of the regional administration and local government. So we sincerely believe that the interface between the two systems is going to increase collection of government revenue, but also check pilferage of funds, which was happening before the interface between the two systems.
On the other hand, Professor Kabudi announces that Tanzania has selected Singeli music as one of the country's cultural identifiers to the world, and soon part of UNESCO's intangible cultural heritage.
And it's our intention now also to promote Singeli internationally. It is one of our intangible cultural heritage, and therefore we are working now to have a big Singeli fest this year, but already we have action plan to make now Singeli be recognized and accepted internationally.
Professor Kabudi adds that the government has given the National National Arts Council the responsibility of overseeing and preserving Tanzania's cultural values by ensuring that artists produce works that uphold the nation's traditions and moral integrity, as it is outlined in the Article 30 of the Tanzania's Constitution.
Urged the National Arts Council to make sure now that they are vigilant, to make sure that actually ethics, traditions and customs of Tanzania are respected and adhered to by our artists. And what is encouraging is that now once any artist uploads her or his work in 2 days, she or he will receive comments from BASATA.
Professor Kabudi reaffirms Tanzania's commitment and urges Tanzanian artists to embrace creativity that reflects to Tanzanian values and contributes positively to the society. Caroline Malewo, TBC News.
The ATCL has resumed its direct flights between Mtwara and Dar es Salaam, which stopped since December 2022. The Mtwara Airport manager, Jordan Mchami, and some other residents of the region say that the start of the Air Tanzania direct flights from Mtwara is a great milestone in promoting the southern region's economy.
Air Tanzania continues to expand its domestic flight network, ensuring citizens receive top-quality service. This Mtwara flight in particular connects travelers to Air Tanzania's extensive network, which includes over 25 destinations and more than 120 flights per week.
The arrival of Air Tanzania presents a major opportunity for us as entrepreneurs, enabling us to accelerate and enhance our business activities.
Additionally, it brings new hope to travelers who previously had limited airlines options. Air Tanzania has given these people from Mtwara a renewed sense of confidence in air travel.
The launch of the flights has been officiated by the Mtwara District Commissioner, Abdallah Mwai Paya, on behalf of the Regional Commissioner.
That reflect the implementation of the ruling party's manifesto and reaffirm the government's commitment to strengthening air transport infrastructure. It also plays a key role in driving economic and social development in the Mtwara region.
Before we wind up our local news tonight, let us now have a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Time now for all the latest in international news. And it is Join Nyambona Masamba with all the latest in international news.
International news starts in Africa. The M23 rebels are solidifying their control in the Eastern Republic of Congo. They have taken Bukavu, the capital of South Kivu, which is vital supply route for the army and transit rare earth minerals. The rebel alliance is also in control of Bukavu Airport, just outside Bukavu. However, the situation in Bukavu remained calm under the control of M23 rebels since they managed to capture the town yesterday. This happened after almost a night of trouble and also people looting around. And then the rebels arrived in the area and addressed the population, telling them to stay calm because they are in the charge of the situation. To the Vatican. The head of Catholic Church, hospitalized for bronchitis 4 days ago, is now facing a complex clinical condition. The Vatican says Pope Francis will lay in hospital for as long as necessary. He's been suffering from respiratory infection for more than a week and was admitted to a hospital in Rome on Friday. To West Africa, Sierra Leone produces some of the world's highest quality diamonds, but at the cost mining has polluted the environment, damaged homes, and cost many of their livelihoods. Prospecting from diamonds is a gamble, and it might be a breaking work, especially from small-scale miners in Sierra Leone.
That's international news as compiled and read by Nyambona Masamba. Sports news up next. In sports news, young Africans have maintained their winning run after beating Singida Black Stars by 2-1, going 5 points clear on top of the Tanzania Premier League table. The young Africans head coach says that the match was tough, but they used a few mistakes committed by Singida Black Stars defenders to score the goals.
I am very happy because we take 3 points. These 3 points are very, very important. Sometimes we can play very, very, very good and lose. Today we play, I think we don't play good because I'm not happy for this game, but we take 3 points, and for that, bravo for the player, because that's the most important, to take 3 points today.
Young Africans continues to be at the top of the Tanzania Premier League table with 52 points after playing 20 matches, while their arch-rivals Simba Sports Club is at second spot with 47 points and 2 matches on hand, while Azam FC is at third place with 39 points. Artists have been urged to leverage on advancement of science and technology in producing their work so as to penetrate into the international market. Speaking during the Kahawa Night Show held in Dar es Salaam, sponsors of the show, Professor John Bura and Benedict Nguru, say artists should apply technologies to promote their artworks in international markets.
At least really, Tanzania, for instance, Regina, through her artwork, she can even promote Kahawa, she can promote our tourism destination. So I think she can go forward and try to be one of the youth which can help his fellow friends and country, of course.
We've been sitting here as an older generation, and we wanted to entice the younger generation to come join us. So we want to have all age groups, obviously legal drinking age, to come eat, enjoy, have a good time, socialize, perform, play games, network.
Doing your thing, like you don't give up, you know, just keep doing your work and stuff and keep promoting your music and think outside of the box, you know, like, you know what I mean? Just keep going hard and stuff, you know.
That's the sports news. And now, before we conclude the news bulletin for tonight, let's take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Hello there, this is 24 hours of the forecast from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. Starting from tonight, 9 p.m. Wind is expected to flow at the speed of 20 kilometers per hour over Lake Victoria and at the speed of 10 kilometers per hour over Lake Tanganyika and Lake Nyasa. And the state of the lake is expected to be slight. For the entire coast, wind is expected to flow at the speed of 30 kilometers per hour and the state of the sea is expected to be moderate. And we expect maximum temperature to reach 35 degrees of centigrade over Kilimanjaro, Dar es Salaam, and Pwani, including Mafia Isles. And now let us see of the weather details. And this is what we expect.